Heyo, you're tuning into Toasted Time, where I cook your time with some Reddit stories. Right now, you're being toasted with some TIFU, where consent is not needed. Our first story is by Lord Help. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. My girlfriend and I were hanging out in my room and I was rubbing her thighs and kissing her knees and hands, and I made a light-hearted comment about, maybe you should lock the door and give me a BJ. And her response was essentially, is that what you want? To which I said, if you would like to. Apparently that was the wrong thing to say. She basically got up and left. Texting her after essentially boiled down to she thinks it is awkward when I ask her if she wants to have S, or when I stop to make sure she is consenting. Essentially, she said she just wants me to make her do it instead of asking her if she wants to. And I don't know, it just feels weird. I would never want her to do something out of some sense of obligation or if it'll make him happy. I'd rather just sit there horny and do nothing at all than just have her have S with me because I wanted to. I don't know, I get that it can be hot to be told what to do. I mean, crap, I like it when she does it to me. But I would just feel crappy if I basically bossed her into doing something she wasn't into at the moment. I don't know, hard to put into words, I guess. And then, OP made an edit down below. We are both switches. We both flop back and forth between dominant and submissive, and 99% of the time, these situations align. Today just happened to be that one-off situation where we bounced off each other instead of working together. In general, I much prefer to be the giver than the receiver, and I believe most of the awkwardness of the situation is that I almost never ask her to do something just for me. I have no problem playing the dominant role, but when I play the dominant role, I am playing it to give her pleasure. And when she didn't just immediately hop up and go, okay, I immediately got embarrassed and went to give her an out, and that is where I messed up. I ruined the mood. I'm much more prone to play the role of throwing her onto the bed to pleasure her instead of telling her to do the same to me, if that makes sense. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I started off with this story because I read it through and then I'm rereading again for making the video, you know. My original thought was that I was gonna talk about how like sometimes women are like, well, you must get consent, and then other times it's like, you don't need consent. It's like, how do you pick between the two? And then after I reread it, I was like, you know, that doesn't necessarily make sense, because if they're used to playing dominant or submissive roles to each other, then him just asking for a BJ without consent would be normal, in my opinion. Maybe not normal for OP, because OP prefers to pleasure her instead of just for himself, which I get. I absolutely get that, but I can understand why there would be a no consent type of thing there, but as someone down below points out, which they say safe words are OP, and I couldn't agree more with that, because that is perfect for this whole entire situation, just having a safe word. But yeah, no, my initial argumentation was kind of misguided. Anywho, and the next story comes from No Werewolves Allowed. Yesterday was officially my coworker's final day as my coworker. She was moving on. New country, new job, new life. An office party was organized to celebrate the great work she has done at the company and to make her last day at the office feel special. And I must confess, I have always had feelings for my coworker, but I never did anything about it because I assumed that she was not into guys based on her butch appearance and overall tomboy nature. Her hair was always shade ferocious style, and her dress code boiled down to oversized shirts, baggy pants, and scruffy boots. Don't get me wrong, I liked what I saw, but like I said, what I saw made me feel like I was most likely not her type. And I have to add that one of her shirts had "I can't think straight" printed on the front, which further fueled my belief that she was team breasts and not team balls. And my coworker approached me at the party and asked if I was gonna miss her, and I said yes, and then asked her if she was gonna miss me too. She said fridge no as a joke and then took a deep breath before saying that she never had the courage to tell me how much she liked me. And I almost choked on my cupcake and said I always thought she liked girls. She looked at me confused and asked what made me think that. And at the moment I was the one taking a deep breath because I knew I was gonna sound like an idiot when I opened my mouth. I said I made an assumption about her sexuality based on what I interpreted as lesbian qualities, which was wrong of me, but that was why I never made a move even though I wanted to so many times. And my coworker was shocked to learn that I had feelings for her. She said most people assume she's gay, even her parents, but my case was gonna haunt her because she could have made her feelings even more obvious had she connected the dots and realized I liked her too. I swallowed the chunks of cupcake in my mouth all at once and asked my coworker to please explain what she meant by even more obvious. She asked if I remembered her giving me a kiss on the lips when she wished me happy birthday last year. I said yes, and then came the inevitable, oh. My justification for leaving that kiss in the friend zone was thinking that it was an Australian thing to wish each other happy birthday with a kiss on the lips. My coworker is from Australia, and she clarified that birthday kisses on the lips was not an Australian thing, and it was an I want your mouth on mine because I like you thing. She asked if I remembered the time when she stopped me in the hallway and got on her knees to tie my shoelaces because my hands were full. I remembered exactly what she remembered, which was her looking up at me while she was on her knees and telling me that she could get used to this angle. Part of me wanted to file that under, she's 100% flirting with me. But the part of me that won was the part that thought, nah. My coworker asked if she should go on and provide more examples of her failed attempts to seduce me, but I said, no thank you. And I asked if it was too late to ask her out. I was joking, but also not joking, and she said that she was no longer single. I congratulated her on finding a guy who was obviously not as oblivious as me. She said her experience with me trained her to be as transparent as possible, which is why she left zero room for interpretation when she showed interest in her boyfriend for the first time. We toasted to transparency and promised to stay in touch. The regret is gonna haunt me for a while. Holy cow. Holy cow. This dude had her on the knees saying she could get used to the angle, and how did you not think that was flirting? What? Wait, what? How did this happen? I'm upset, guys. I'm absolutely upset. This dude had it in the bag, and yet he thought, nah. Like, what? How is that a nah situation? And then her kissing you on the lips. Brother, if you were interested in her, you could have at least looked it up on the internet to see if kissing on the lips for a birthday party was a normal thing. But you didn't. You immediately just thought it was something of an Australian tradition? My brain. What? I don't even know a tradition of that sort. Is there a tradition where kissing on the lips kissing on the lips is a tradition. What country has that kind of tradition for a birthday party? Can anyone tell me? I am perplexed as anything. This dude thought kissing on the lips was a tradition. I would have understood like a peck on the cheek, or maybe a kiss on the cheek, but kissing on the lips, my guy, you are... Oh my god, that is so unfortunate. Alrighty, well, that's enough of that. Anywho, continuing on. And the final story comes from Moist Friend. My girlfriend and I live together, and she was browsing through my past Amazon orders to see what shampoos I got. Then, she found that I purchased a box of condoms in 2021 before I met her in 2022. The make of the condoms is of the same brand that we use. She confronted me, and I confessed that the condoms we initially used were leftovers I bought for my ex. She was very upset because I lied to her. I did withhold the important information to avoid awkwardness, and now it backfired. And because I used my ex's stuff for S with her, which she thinks is very disrespectful. And to me, condoms are just things like pencils, no reason to throw them away if they work, but deep down I probably also know that she would have been uncomfortable had she known the truth. I apologized to her and she said she needs some time. Hopefully we won't break up for this. Wait, what? So she is contemplating breaking up with you because you used condoms that you bought from a ex? Sorry, not reused old condoms from your ex, but reused a box of condoms from your ex. But why does she... What? Brothers, I have so many questions here. I got many questions. So, okay, let's say for happenstance that you were in a relationship and you had S toys, and then you broke up or divorced or whatever and then went on to another relationship. Are you to then get rid of those and then just buy new ones because you want to date someone else? What is her logic? You know what? I'm I am going to actually agree to someone's comment down below who says that she was just looking for a reason to break up and not sound like an asshole, so she made this imaginary problem just to break up with him, because this is such a nothing burger of a problem. Like, is he supposed to buy new shampoo too because his shampoo came from when he was dating his ex? Like, what is his logic? Imagine she gets upset because she used a mug from her ex that his ex drank from. Well, this is such preposterous brain work she's doing here. Either she is terribly insecure, or she was just looking for a reason to break up. That is what I'm thinking. Tell me what your thoughts are down in the comments. Anywho, well, that is about it for those stories today. But if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe to become a fellow breadbag. But aside from that, I post 2 new videos every day. So I hope to see you in the next time toasting session. But until then, have a good one.